Oh, hi, friends!
Hi, Lizzie!
I'm making something so cool. Glow-in-the-dark bubbles. The tops have already been cut off the glow sticks. Grandpa did that for me. If you do this at home, an adult should do that for you. Don't do it yourself, okay?
Yeah, right!
I can't wait to see what happens. Time to blow some bubbles. It's kind of cool, but it's not as cool as I hoped. I wonder if we need the room to be dark to see the glow-in-the-dark things.
That's true.
Do you want to know a secret? I don't really like being in the dark. I get scared about what I can't see.
Hey, Lizzie. Oh, are our friends here?
Yes, and I was just showing them the glow-in-the-dark project. Didn't really work. You can't see the glow-in-the-dark bubbles.
Well, that makes sense. Well, let's turn off the light.
All of the lights? Grandpa, have you ever been scared of the dark?
Well, not anymore. I was when I was younger. I guess I just learned to be safe in the dark.
How can you be safe when you can't even see anything?
Oh, Lizzie, you ask such great questions. You know, it's hard being in the dark and not being able to see what's around you or where you're walking. I mean, sometimes even being in the light, there's things that happen that scare us.
Like leaving the home I knew and the friends I had. That didn't feel like the dark, but I couldn't see what was going to happen.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a great Bible story that talks about this. Do you want to hear it?
Sure.
All right. Let's open our Bible here. Let's get to the book of Esther. Now, this is a story of the Israelites who were living in a land that didn't belong to them. Instead of calling them Israelites in that country, they were called Jewish people. The king had picked Esther to be his...
Grandpa, a clue!
This is worn on a woman's head and sparkles in the light.
What could it be? It's time to put on our binoculars and find the clue.
This means the woman is a queen or a princess.
Do you think it's a tiara?
Yes!
Me too.
Well, Esther was the queen of King Xerxes, but the king didn't know Esther and her family were Jewish. And there was a man who worked for the king named Haman, and he had a lot of anger in his heart for the Jewish people. One day, Haman went to the king and asked him to sign a paper that would destroy the Jewish people living in the land. It was an evil, horrible idea.
Oh, another clue!
This is a letter in the alphabet.
What could it be? Let's put on our binoculars to find the clue.
This letter is used to mark a special location on a treasure map.
An X! Sadly, the king signed his name to the law and crossed out the Jewish people's ability to live in his kingdom. And Esther lived in the palace, so her family in the city sent news to her about the law the king had signed. How do you think she felt?
Scared!
Oh, I think she was really scared.
Her family wanted her to go before the king and ask him to change the order. But Esther was scared. Usually only people come into the king's presence if the king asked for them. And you could get into big trouble if you want to see the king and he didn't want to see you.
He sounds like a bad king.
Maybe so, but remember, things were different back then in that country. But Esther's family reminded her as queen, God could use her as a voice to help save the Jewish people. Esther asked all the Jewish people to pray and skip meals in order to pray even more for 3 days. And they did.
What happened next?
After 3 days, Esther went before the king and bowed down before him. I imagine that she held her breath while she waited to see if the king would welcome her or not. But he did, and the king asked what she wanted. Esther invited the king and Haman to a dinner that she would have prepared for them.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yes! Oh, it's going to get bad for either Esther or Haman. But remember, Haman doesn't know Esther is Jewish, so he is in for a really unhappy surprise. So at the dinner, the king was relaxed and happy. He told Esther to ask for whatever she wanted. This was Esther's big moment. Esther told the king that she was Jewish, and King Xerxes got really mad at Haman because he had asked for the law that would hurt Esther and her people. And the king said he would sign a new order to save the Jewish people. There are a lot of scary things happening in this story, aren't there? Esther and the Jewish people faced things they would have never chose to face, but God was at work. Even when the world all around us seems dark, God is always there, working even when we can't see him. God always knows what's best.
Grandpa, I think that's our faith fact. Let's say it all together.
God knows what's best.
That's a great faith fact. Should we say it one more time?
God knows what's best.
Lizzie, I can tell you are really excited about making your glow-in-the-dark bubbles.
I was disappointed it didn't work.
Oh, Lizzie, I understand, but maybe it'll work if I turn off the lights. Let me grab the lights and I'll come back and sit with you.
Thanks, Grandpa. That'd be great.
All right, let's give it a shot. See what happens here. Ah, look at that.
Wow, Grandpa, they're so pretty.
They sure are.
I'm so glad it worked. I'm gonna go turn back on the lights. You know, Grandpa, I didn't feel scared when I was sitting next to you.
Oh, Lizzie, I'm so glad. You know, that's actually a great picture of why we don't need to be scared in life, too. God is always with us, even when it feels dark. So, should we turn off the lights and try to blow some more bubbles?
Yeah, come back soon.